season and where they stand heading into the championships, and then we'll pass it down the line, and then we'll open it up to questions. We'll start with Penn State head coach Cal Sanderson.
All right. Well, I don't have much to say. We're happy to be here. You know, this is the fun stuff. You get to the postseason. This is, you know, it gets better as you go along here. But I'm real proud of our team. I think they've come a long way, and I'm just excited to see how they get out there and compete.
Yeah, you know, we had a pretty good regular season, but I think that pretty much stops right now. It's the second season, the important part of the season, and you know, our guys are ready to go. The draws are the draws. They don't really dictate how we're going to wrestle tomorrow, and you know, it's one match at a time, and it's a big event. We're real happy to be hosting it.
Not much for opening statement, really. Number one is you're going into the postseason and you got to really be strong in this one. This is where you flex your muscles and you set yourself up for the future, the immediate future. You know, what's most important is what's in front of you. But that's why this is a big deal, because it's puts you in position for national honors. Big 10 is strong and the premier wrestling conference in the country, and so it's another heightened awareness peak, maybe, so to speak.
Thanks, guys, and now we'll open up to questions.
Why are you smiling over here?
Me? No, I was just chuckling because I was worried that'd be the result of the questions. Seeding meeting go well, kind of where everybody expected, held to the pre-seeds for the most part, it looks like.
Seeding meeting was uneventful. It has been for the last couple of years, which is probably maybe everybody's becoming more friendly to each other, maybe. We like each other a lot.
Does that end tomorrow about 10 o'clock?
That's right.
Speaking on the seating meeting, I think it was the quickest one we've had in quite a few years. So, yeah, it went quickly. It went well, and I think you know, everybody showed up. I think Michigan State had 2 athletes not show up, but everybody else pretty much what we expected.
Tony Ramos, been your starter, I think, off and on. Did he lose some wrestle-offs, or what was that situation?
Actually, where we're at with Ramos early on, it was never really off or on. There was one weekend we went to Oklahoma State in the middle of January where he went to Omaha instead. That was by design. That wasn't really a lost opportunity or something that he lost a chance to go wrestle Oklahoma State. A couple of things are going on there. He had matches with Ty Clark. He was 1 and 2 against him, I believe, during the year. One was a wrestle-off early in the year, and then won a match at Midlands here earlier in the tournament, and then lost the placing match for 5th and 6th to Clark. And a lot of close situations there. The reason why Tony emerged is because of building leads, going to attacks, those types of things. It wasn't really a wrestle-off situation. It was more, what do they look like in competition? That might help you even better explanation.
Tom, was this season a little more meaningful for you, given the talent that you lost off of last year's team and the number of new starters you had?
And you know what, here's the thing, it's maybe more exciting to the fans. I'll tell you what, the great thing about college athletics is there's that turnover. Like next year, Rick Stancy's not going to be the quarterback at Iowa. He graduates, we got this Vanderbilty dude coming in that can sling the ball. And it's the same thing with a high-powered team with Metcalf, Kenny, Morningstar, Erickson, and those guys, Dan Dennis. And they graduate, now you have guys that come in that got to do the job. Guys like Ramos and Lofthouse and guys that got to make household names for themselves, and that's what's great about it. So as far as being more satisfying, we all have the same challenge here. You know, we're trying to get our guys to wrestle their best, and when all our guys wrestle their best, and they do that, we feel good where they're at. And every time, you got to be able to do it every time. That's where we're at. It's satisfying to see young people accomplish what they've set out to accomplish. It's very satisfying.
Drew, the fact that you've had such a good record at home, do you think that gives you a little edge in the tournament going in, just as far as the confidence in the athletes?
Well, I think hosted Midlands creates an environment for us where, you know, the mats are set up the same way that they are day 2 for Midlands, but we didn't wrestle very well at Midlands this year. So we have our work cut out for us. We need to prove that in big events we're going to wrestle well in Welsh Ryan Arena. And the Big Ten schedule is what it is. I mean, we didn't wrestle Penn State or Minnesota this year. I think it shakes up again next year. You know, you wrestle 8 different schools. So, you know, in some regards, maybe the dual meet records mislead. You know, we weren't at national duels this year. So we feel like we're going to prove ourselves this weekend and at NCAAs, and we need to do that.
Cale, how'd you decide those 2 spots that got announced this week? You had 2 guys that you decided to go with. What was the determining factor there?
Well, they were all 3 of them were actually pretty close as far as the results they've been getting, and it just came down to, we narrowed it down to 2, and then we had those 2 go head to head and see who the wrestler would be this week. Novorath has had a lot of success, or not a lot of success, but he's had success at 157. He's a guy that can win, and he's you know, he's a talented kid. So we just felt like he had a better chance of you know, having some success at this tournament and a better chance of qualifying for the national championship.
Iowa lost so much to graduation, and the first part of the season, do you think going into, say, since the Midlands, where was the point of greatest improvement for your team? Was it before Christmas or when you got into the conference season?
It was, you know, right after the Midlands, that was a pretty good butt whipping we took there, especially about a little more than halfway through. I think if you look at it statistically, and I'm not a statistics guy, but somebody can figure out how many matches we lost in a row or how many out of we lost. It was a majority. And the biggest improvement that we've made is toughness in tough situations. Right and the wrong, when things are going against you, those types of things. And, you know, it's got to continue this tournament and beyond as well, but that's probably been the biggest adjustment, or probably the biggest improvement in the lineup overall. And especially with these younger guys, is that what I'm talking about, is that getting tough in tough situations, right and wrong, making things go your way in the middle of a situation that it might not be going your way, maturity, growing up, etc.
Drew, how different is this championship for you as the head coach now versus when you've been an assistant? How different is it when you're the one in charge of the program?
You know, we have a great supporting cast around us, and Coach Zazeski's as much of the program now as he ever has been, and you know, in some ways, maybe the roles that we're in right now, they suit us just fine. Transition was good. You know, we weren't even supposed to host this event until Purdue couldn't, from a structure standpoint, support the event this year. So, you know, we just have great people around us, and like I said, I keep going back to the Midlands. When you run an event for 48 years, you're pretty comfortable in these environments. And you know, from a logistics standpoint, I can't wait to get back and get to practice right now. You know, I want to get after it, and I think wrestling with the guys will help calm some nerves too.
Sure, obviously your main focus is on getting in the arena and wrestling and seeing your guys guys perform, but what else when it comes to hosting, what are you looking forward to? I know you got this huge contingent of former Northwestern wrestlers coming back, and just talk about that, to that and to the program in general.
Well, it's like, I'd imagine what it's like to host an NCAA tournament. You got guys that they're flying in from wherever, Pennsylvania, California. They haven't seen Northwestern wrestle in a couple years, so that's exciting. We want to put on a good show for them. We've had great alumni support. Had a lot of All-Americans coming back. Just got off the phone with Scott Schatzman, who was a guy in my era, 3-time All-American. So you got these guys coming back, and it's just real important that you perform not only for yourself, but for the future of the program. So it's exciting, but it's real important not to get caught up in all the hoopla.
This kind of for all three of you, which do you feel is the toughest of the weight classes? If you were to say, ooh, that's a buzzsaw, not necessarily for your own team, but just for the overall strength of the weight class.
They're all tough, but 41's pretty outstanding.
Sanderson was in the tournament, I'd say his weight class. I'm like probably Kale here. I don't have much of an opinion on what is toughest in the tournament or where we're at. I mean, which one's bringing the most? I don't even know that. Which one qualifies the most automatically?
49's got 8.
Enthusiastic up here, aren't I?
Any other questions for Coach? All right, thanks guys, appreciate you coming down.